This piece was completed for the addition to the Beloit College Anthropology Museum, which was actually at the time, and it's still on the campus, one of the oldest buildings on campus. It was a library, it was a dormitory, it was this and that, and it became the anthropology school. It sits in one corner there. And it's been adapted, but they put on an addition, the Godfrey addition to this. So they wanted me to do a piece of sculpture. Well, again, if you're going to cite a piece, I want you come in, basically you come off the campus, you come into the new addition, but it wasn't exactly a fantastic entrance. You had to go up steps, hold on to the thing, and you get up. Main thing is because you got to get yourself up about 4 feet or 3 feet, so you're up at the level of the, and to bring that into then. But the point is that this hallway didn't have a very good entrance. But when you get inside, you're looking way back down, and on each side are the couple of doors and things. But on the side that we were thinking, I could see the building being built. So here's this open wall. Here was this wall that was going to separate the lounge from the hallway. Now the hallway is probably 8 feet wide. It's not a narrow thing. And you can go, the elevator was there, you could go outside the side entrance, you could go up a pair of steps. So there was and also you could go into the lower part of the museum itself with glass cases and things. So there was a sort of a culmination at the end of this, hallway. But the hallway itself was kind of blah. So I thought, why don't we build a metal screen? It's going to be 9 feet tall, it's 13 feet long, and you can see it from both sides. So that meant I was going to work with sheet metal. So, and you couldn't have openings they had to be small enough so no kid, the smallest person, could not get through there. So it's a perforated, kind of like Swiss cheese wall. And it's called, I'm at the time, and I still am, the anthropological thing there. This history we don't really know that much about, but we keep finding things that give us a clue. Well, there's an anthropologist and quite a good anthropologist. I mean, he had very good positions and was well known. And he was a wonderful writer. He grew up in the middle of Kansas. And so anytime there was a creek that had a wash to it, you see these, everybody's seen around here, these banks, and they keep falling in and stuff. And he says, and he liked to play down in there because he was on a farm out there. And he said one day he was out and he saw this white spot. So he opened it up, it was a skull of some, and as he said, some long ago lost person. Was probably the skull of a normal, could have been a rabbit or could have been a deer, it could have been anything. He didn't say it, but it was a revelation to him as a young boy to see this something appearing out of this thing. So, I mean, it just puts pimples on your, arm right now. And so I thought, well, I'm going to do this. So this is called a slit. Now, in the book he says, in this slit appeared this long lost animal. So I call this the slit. And what it is when you see it, you'll see it as a spread out from a center sort of thing. And there's the skull. And just in very abstractly, kind of. It's not just a skull that comes out at you with teeth or anything. And then it had to be finished on the other side, because the lounge is on the other side. It's much more, it's all very plain until you understand there's a plaque there that tells you. Now what I did, the frog, I do a lot of little animals and stuff, just quick little things when I'm working. So a frog, and I do a frog, and I did one for my mother. It's easy to make just a little paperweight or something. And I made kind of a paperweight you can hold it. A frog is a symbol of regeneration. It's kind of like like Easter, rising again, like Christ rose again. A frog goes into the mud, and they hibernate. And they come out of the mud, not all of them, but many frogs come back out in the spring, and all of a sudden you hear all the frogs croaking. So, and it just happened that the benefactor who's paying for this sculpture had a collection of frogs. Most of the frogs are on very valuable South American pieces of pottery, and they had a lot of the pottery they did in this one area of South America. They have animals and stuff, so he collected. A lot of times they'd be frogs. So I knew him quite well and stuff. So I thought, well, I'll put a frog on this. I got a frog about the size of your thumb. That's in one of these openings. He's just sitting there, you know, and I did build a couple of frogs for. It's too funny to talk about the ones I did, but so there's this frog. Well, it's just so that just the kids. I didn't think about this, but they can see it. Well, then they'd come in, the teachers would say, "Can anybody find the frog?" Well, it's right there where they can touch it. You ever see like the Art Institute, or you go places where Lincoln's there, and everybody touches his nose, and his nose is bright gold, you know, because everybody's touching it. Well, that's the way that frog is. The kids touch that, so it's very shiny.